That's awesome. Hi, this is Ike from IkesOutdoors.com. Today we're going to talk a little bit about fletchings, and what we're going to talk about is we're going to do a little bit of product review, but at the same time I'm going to show you also how to fletch an arrow while we're doing this. So what we're going to talk about today is we're going to talk about fusion vanes from Norway. The most important thing when it comes to vanes is you're getting good adhesion and you're getting good flight. Now with these fusion vanes, I'm getting both of those real easily. The way these things are designed, we're going to show you when we start fletching. It's really good, easy to get good adhesion with it, and I'm getting excellent flight out of these arrows, excellent broadhead steering capabilities. And back to the adhesion, you can see here, these things, they will not, once you get these on here, I'm just using a super glue to glue these up too. I'm not using any kind of fletching glue or anything like that. I'm just using some dollar super glue that you go down to the dollar store and buy, and you can see that with these vanes, the kind of materials that the base is made out of and the deep groove that they have, these things won't hardly come off at all. You can see it. Now if you can get that kind of adhesion with one of these, you're doing something. I mean, when you can take a pair of pliers to it and you can pull like that, that's some high quality fletchings right there. That took some doing to pull that thing off. And the thing, what I did was I actually separated the base. The base is still on there, but when you can pull on it like that, and it takes that kind of effort and that kind of force to get the thing to come off, you got some good adhesion. Now these are the 2.1 inch ones that we are going to be using in the fletching today, fletching these arrows up with. And you can see here, turn this light off. You can see here that the base, it has a clear base. Now that base, and it has a nice deep groove in that base. When you put your glue in there, you got a nice pad for that to land on, a nice deep groove for that to settle down into. And this base is made out of a certain kind of chemical and certain kind of properties that it actually bonds better with your glue than some of the other vanes out there. So you could see when I was pulling out the other vane what kind of adhesion you're going to get. And it's because of this base, because of the materials that this base is made out of. The overall design and shape of this is what's going to give you the steering capability and the excellent flight that you're going to get out of these things. And you can see with these other arrows, I've been shooting these arrows for quite a while now, shooting them for hunting and shooting them for 3D this year a little bit as well. And I've got really good flight out of these things. I have no problem with tuning, no problem as far as getting the broadheads to steer correctly or anything like that. So let's go ahead and we'll start on an arrow here. I got my fletching jig behind me, and we'll start fletching up an arrow real quick. The first thing we're going to do here, got my arrow shaft here. This arrow shaft is brand new, hasn't been cut, hasn't had anything met to it. This is a Speed Pro Carbon Revolution. And what I'm going to do is, even though this thing is brand new, is I'm going to take some 91% alcohol, and I'm just going to clean this thing with that. I'm going to put it on a rag, and I'm just going to clean this thing real good with this 91% alcohol. It's just 91% alcohol on that rag there. And you want to do this right before you're ready to fletch. You don't want to do this several hours before and then come back to it. You want to keep this nice and clean. All the dust and oils from your fingers and things like that is what you're trying to get off there. Once you got that squeaky clean, you're ready to go. You're ready to fletch. And what I'm going to be using here is just an old Martin fletching jig that I've got. I've got half a dozen of them set up here. And they work really well for what I'm doing. I really recommend Boeing or Bitzenberg. Boeing makes a good starter jig. These Martins are pretty good. I highly recommend Bitzenberg to make one of the best fletching jigs out there. What we're going to do is we're going to take our fusion vane and we're going to put it in our clamp. Real easy to do. Your clamp's got marks on it, and each one of these marks is, oh, I don't know, 1/8 of an inch, something like that apart. What I do is I line up the bottom of my vane with this mark right here. So we're going to put our fusion vane in there. And we're going to line that bottom up with that notch right there. Okay, so we've got that done. This is where the that deep groove comes in real handy when you're putting your glue on there. And like I said, I'm just using a bottle of super glue that I got down at the dollar store. It lasts for a long time and does a really good job. Now I'm doing this behind the camera and I'm trying to do it through the viewfinder, so that's making it a little bit messy, but this is where the fusion vein comes in, where it's real nice, because you've got that nice deep groove to catch your glue. And you don't need much glue when you're doing this, just a little bit. Got that nice deep groove there to catch your glue. And just lay a nice bead down on there, just kind of cover everything up. And then place it down on. Always place the bottom on first, and then slide it forward. And you can see that's the nice thing about that clear base, is you can see that you got good contact everywhere. You can see your glue spreading out nice and even. Then I'll just give it a little push on top, and on the bottom I'll just apply a little bit of pressure to it. And then with that super glue, I'll let it set about 5 minutes or so before I move on to the next. One of the other advantages that the Fusion has with that clear base is I can sit here and I can actually look at it and I can see that that glue is still wet. So it gives you a really good view of the bond that you have going there. Okay, so we're ready to install our second vein. And you notice that I started out with the yellow one and this one's white, because I got a little messy with the glue on the first arrow, and it got a little bit on my clamp, so I had to pull it off real quick and start over again. I messed up that vein, so I switched over to a white one that I already had ready. So we're ready to install our second one. I've got it in there, and this is the trick. This is the hard part to making a good quality, a good looking arrow. It's not going to affect flight if they're off much, but what you want to do is you want to get your top and your bottom lined up as best you can. So before you put any glue on your next veins, after you've installed your first one, you're going to want to test fit that. So with everything dry and no glue on there, what I'm doing is I'm just lining everything up, making sure everything's nice and even, making sure my top's nice and even, make sure my bottom's nice and even. Even though I've got that mark there to line things up, it's still pretty easy to get things off. So everything looks pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and install a little bit more glue and get our second one on there. So you can see how easy it is to fletch these up. You can do these on your own at home, really easy to do. And with that clear base, a lot of advantages is that not only are you getting good adhesion with that, you can tell when your glue's dry, you can tell that it's nice and evenly spread out. And the components that they make this out of, the material that they make it out of, really bonds that thing. You could see with the pair of pliers that I had that I was really pulling on that thing, and really took a bunch of effort to get those off there. Now they make these in a wide variety of colors, a wide variety of sizes. These are my hunting arrows. I got a little bit of a helical on there. Got a little bit of an offset on these, just trying some different things out. Excellent veins. Try these fusion veins out. I guarantee you won't be disappointed. I fletched a lot of my own arrows when I ran a shop. I did all kinds of different veins and stuff like that. And I have to say, these fusion veins are getting the best adhesion that I've ever got out of any vein. I mean, when they get on there, they are stuck. That is one of the most impressive things about these is the bond that you get. Excellent stability with broadheads. I'm shooting a 2-blade cut-on contact steel horse fathead, and these veins guide them just like my field points. So, and these are my hunting ones. I'm using a 3-inch for hunting, and I'm probably going to use these 2.1 inches for hunting this year. I'm going to try these out. I like the look of them. Good quality in them, excellent stability for my broadheads, excellent bond, the best bond I've ever got out of any kind of veins, any kind of feathers that I've ever used. Try these out, wide variety of colors, wide variety of lengths. They got a couple different lengths that you can buy, and I highly recommend them. This is what I'm going to be using. All the videos that you see me in the future shooting, this is what you're going to see me shooting. It's just, these are the veins for me. These are the ones that I'm going to be using from here on out. So I definitely recommend them. Definitely think you should give them a shot. You can check these out and get more information on these fusion veins at www.duravanes.com. And for more product reviews, more tips, tricks, and I got a fletching video that's a little bit more in depth on my website. Be sure to check that out at www.ikesoutdoors.com. And I appreciate you watching.